Hey everyone, J7Jace here, bringing you a guide on how to increase the damage of all weapon types in Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions, and some other information about them. If you want to know where and how to get the best of each weapon type, please check out the two videos in the description below. Let's begin with swords. Its damage is based on our physical attack stat as well as our weapon attack power. Swords can also be dual wielded, and its damage will also be increased by the support abilities Doublehand, Attack Boost, and Vehemence. It has a horizontal range of 1, and it can strike upwards of 2 vertically and 3 downwards, and this will apply to all other similar striking weapons, which are listed here on the screen. Lastly, it can be equipped by a wide range of jobs and characters, and by anything if a character has the support ability Equip Swords from the Knight. Next, let's take a look at Fell Swords. Quick note, these are only available in the War of the Lions version. All of them have a dark element and must be used with both hands. Its strength is also determined by not only our physical attack stat and weapon power, but it's also based on how low our faith stat is, so decrease it with the orders Enlighten for best results. To further increase your damage with the Dark Swords, you can equip the support abilities Attack Boost and Vehemence, as well as equipping an accessory that can increase dark damage, so Japa Mala or Sage's Ring can do exactly that. Because of its dark element, don't use it versus zombies as it will heal them. Lastly, this weapon can only be equipped by Dark and Onion Knights. For this next section, all three of these weapon types' damage is heavily dependent on how high our bravery stat is, so increase it with Ramza's Steel if you want to see some insane numbers. For unarmed damage, you want high bravery and high physical attack. The Brawler support ability from the Monk will increase this damage by 50%. Just note that monks have this ability passively. With dual wield, you're able to punch twice for even more damage. However, double hand won't increase it. If you don't like dual wield, you can always use attack boost and vehemence. In most cases, I don't recommend being unarmed unless you're a monk, although a ninja with brawler is incredibly strong, so that is an exception to the rule. Lastly, parry doesn't work while unarmed. Katana damage is also heavily based upon our physical attack and bravery. You can also increase its damage with dual wield, double hand, attack boost, and lastly vehemence. These weapons are needed in your inventory if you want to use Iaido or draw out. Just remember that these abilities are based on magic attack power, so use it as a secondary on something like a black mage. And each time you use an Iaido ability with your katana, it has a chance to break, with the stronger katanas like Masamune and Chidi Jiraden having a higher chance at shattering, so stock up before using these abilities. Katanas are primarily used by samurai, however Orlando can also equip it in his Sword Saint. But if you want, anyone can use these weapons with the ability Equip Katana. Now for the Ron Jeremy of weapons, Night Swords. They are also powered up like katanas, so focus on increasing your PA and bravery. And yes, you can further increase its damage with the same exact support abilities, like double hand, dual wield, attack boost, and vehemence. Every single playable character that is a knight can use this weapon. This also includes Ramza's Squire, as well as generic knights. Guns are an interesting weapon. They have a minimum range of 3 and a max of 8. And they can work around regular evasion, so having a shield, cloak, reflexes, or one's own character and job class evasion won't help you avoid these attacks. Regular physical gun damage is based solely on its weapon power. However, you can increase this damage with attack boost and vehemence, although don't expect big numbers. Magic gun damage is based on your own character's faith as well as target's faith, and weapon power. Arcane strength, vehemence, and equipment items that will boost elemental such as Black Robe will increase your damage. Magic guns also have 3 different attacks. Most of the time it will attack with a basic tier 1 spell like Fire, Blizzard, or Thunder, depending on your gun. Around 30% of the time you can trigger a tier 2 magic attack, and lastly, around 10% of the time you can get a tier 3 magical attack. And this is the only weapon type that can't crit in the game, although you can make an argument that a tier 3 magical spell is similar. Just note that you can't stack two elemental boosting equipment, such as Black Robe and Sage's Ring. You can only boost it with one item. Both regular and magic guns can be equipped by things like chemists, orders, as well as by Mustadio and Balthier. But with the support ability Equip Guns, anyone can use it. These next three weapons can't be dual wielded, but they have a max horizontal range of 2 and minimum of 1. They also have an upward and downward vertical range of 3 as well. However, their damage formulas are all quite different. For polearms or spears, its damage is based on your physical attack and weapon attack power. To further increase your damage, equip the support ability Vehemence, Doublehand, or Attack Boost. Having a polearm equipped will also increase your damage with the jump ability by 50%. However, jump damage itself won't be increased by any support abilities. Dragoons, as well as Malidal and Balthier, can equip this weapon, but anyone can use spears with the Equip Polearm ability. Pole or stick damage is based on a character's magic attack stat as well as weapon power. It can do some scary damage though if you decide to use Double Hand. However, it still does pretty good damage with Vehemence and Attack Boost. I think there are much better weapons for magic users, but arithmeticians, mystics, and Rafa and Merrick can use these weapons. Cloth damage is based on our physical, magical, as well as the attack of our weapon. You can further increase its damage with Attack Boost and Vehemence, although I really can't recommend this weapon type. It synergizes quite well though with the parry or weapon guard reaction ability, due to its higher than normal parry rate. It can be equipped by dancers and by Onion Knights, but they can equip anything. Even though I don't recommend ever physically attacking with these next two weapons, here is how they work. Rod damage is based on our physical attack as well as weapon strength. And yes, if you really want to, its damage can be increased by Double Hand, Dual Wield, Attack Boost, and Vehemence. Rods can be wielded by Black Mages, Summoners, and Mystics. Staff damage is dependent on not only our weapon attack, but also our magical attack stat. And the support abilities I mentioned earlier about the rods will also increase its damage. These weapons can be used by White Mages, Time Mages, Rafa, Merrick, as well as by Summoners and Mystics. These next two weapons are similar for the most part: Ninja Blades and Knives. Their damage output is based on our physical attack, weapon damage, as well as speed stat. For Knives, to further increase your damage, you can use Attack Boost, Dual Wield, and Vehemence. Characters and jobs that can equip this are generic squires, chemists, thieves, orders, ninjas, dancers, Ramza, Luso, Balthier, and even Beowulf. For Ninja Blades, you do have the additional option to use Double Hand to increase its damage, but I don't recommend this as ninjas by default have Dual Wield. And yes, its damage will be increased by Attack Boost and Vehemence as well. Characters and jobs that can equip this weapon are ninjas and Thunder God Sid, although I recommend swords and knight swords for him as he needs those weapons equipped in order to use sword play. While axes sound deadly, to me they aren't. Even though they are double-handed and having higher physical attack and weapon strength can result in some high numbers, there's also a chance to do very low damage, and I would not trust the estimated number you see if you're about to attack an enemy, as it's just the average. Axes can't be dual wielded, and the support ability Double Hand won't increase its damage. However, Attack Boost and Vehemence will boost its power. But if you throw axes or want to use jump with an axe, that damage won't be luck based, but instead it will be based upon the actual weapon's strength, and this rule applies to the next two weapons I will be talking about. I still don't like them though. Generic squires, geomancers, and dark knights can wield axes, but anyone can use it with the support ability Equip Axes. Flails work very similar to the axes damage formula wise, but they can be used with one hand. Their damage can be increased through dual wield as you can strike twice, they can be used with double hand, and as usual, Attack Boost and Vehemence will increase its damage. Because it requires luck, I still don't like them. These weapons can be used by Ramza, Luso, generic squires, ninjas, and dark knights. The ladies might love this next one, and they may look cute, however, they just aren't practical weapons for the most part, although a few of them do give nice benefits. Its damage is calculated like axes and flails. Bags can't be dual wielded or have their damage increased by double hand, but attack boost and vehemence will increase its damage. This weapon can only be wielded by females and of course Onion Knights. Crossbow damage is based on our physical attack stat as well as our weapon strength, but still don't expect big numbers with this weapon. It has a minimum range of 3 and a maximum range of 4. It can't be dual wielded and double hand won't increase its damage, but if you really want, attack boost and vehemence will do the trick. It can be equipped by archers, Balthier, and Melidal, or by anyone if you have the support ability equip Crossbows. A quick tip if you can't target an enemy within minimum range is to attack a tile behind them to deal damage. This trick also applies to guns as well. Just remember, this can trigger reaction abilities, so be careful. Longbow damage is based on our physical attack, speed stat, as well as weapon power. Bows have a horizontal range of 3 to 5 on even ground. Attacking downwards increases its max range by 1 tile for every 2 units different in height, while firing upwards decreases your range by 1 tile for every 2 units difference in height. On maps where you can get the high ground, like Zurchill Falls, you can shoot extremely far. Just like usual, you can further strengthen longbow damage with attack boost and vehemence. Archers as well as Balthier can equip longbows. Just note that both crossbow and longbow evasion rates will increase during the night or in storms, so it will be harder to land if RNG isn't on your side. But I still wouldn't worry about this that much, as it's pretty rare and I don't recommend using archers in most cases. Books, aka dictionary damage, is based on our physical, magical, as well as our weapon attack. It only has a horizontal range of 3 and can't be dual wielded or used with double hand. However, its damage can be increased by attack boost and vehemence. It can be used by mystics and arithmeticians as well as Oran-Durai if you decide to cheat. But I can't for the life of me recommend this weapon or even recommend using a dictionary in real life. Instruments which work very similar in virtually all areas like books from its range, damage calculation, and they also can't be dual wielded or double handed. But as usual, attack boost and vehemence will increase its damage. These weapons can only be used by bards, and of course, Onion Knights. Last but not least, it's time to cover thrown weapons. Its range is based on the character's move stat. The damage is dependent on the character's speed as well as the strength of the weapon being thrown. However, attack boost and vehemence won't increase its damage, making it an exception to the rule. Just note that not every single weapon type can be thrown, and he also can't throw any of the new War of the Lions equipment, such as Durandal and Moonsilk blades. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.